You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unat Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Tuesday, September 2nd. In our top story, President Trump announces that U.S. Space Command will be relocated from Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama, reversing a 2023 decision by the Biden administration. The move, Trump says, is driven by Alabama's deep aerospace infrastructure and will support new missile defense efforts. Here's our full report.
President Donald Trump announced that U.S. Space Command headquarters will be relocated from Colorado Springs, Colorado, to Huntsville, Alabama, a move reversing the 2023 decision by the Biden administration to keep it in Colorado.
So I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement, 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time, and I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it, Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs, and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. And that's billions, because it can't be millions. It's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. We created, and I created, a thing called Space Force. So important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia. And now we're far and away number one in space. And reestablished Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. In Huntsville, Spacecom will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was. Every one of these people would call me and lobby me. I said, Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She said, that's right, sir. That's what I want. And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots, I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville.
This announcement also triggered a swift response from Colorado. Attorney General Phil Weiser pledged to challenge the move legally, calling it potentially unlawful and warning about the economic fallout for Colorado, which has a robust aerospace sector.
We'll be right back with much more news after this break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, thankfully, the Nye County Sheriff's Office is now back up and operational following a statewide security breach that unfortunately temporarily disrupted many departmental systems. This incident impacted the department's ability to provide certain civil services to residents of Nye County. And thankfully, we are now honoring those who served a special fundraiser this past Saturday at the Dry Creek Saloon here in Pahrump that brought the community together to support our local veterans.
On Saturday, the Dry Creek Saloon hosted a family-friendly fundraiser that raised $1,150 for the local VFW. The event featured a watermelon and smash burger eating contest, raffles, and an inflatable maze with water toys offering plenty of fun for all ages. Guests enjoyed plenty of vendors as well as live music from KPVM's Mikey Ruhan with Rudy Thomas on the drums, followed by a performance from Nashville superstar Wild Bill Young.
Ready.
Dry Creek Saloon owner Rhea Schumacher spoke with News 25 about the community's support and the success of the event.
The event went so good. We had such a good turnout. The town of Pahrump really came out and showed support for our veterans, and that's what it's all about. You know, we're a business, we're here to make money, but when we make our money, we're giving back to our community, and more businesses should do that. We feel like our veterans matter so much. They gave their life for us, they gave their health for us. They gave so much for us, and all you have to do is show up and show love for them, and they appreciate that so much. And that was our mission today, just to show our Pahrumpian veterans, we love you, we're here for you, we'll do whatever we can for you, we'll encourage other businesses to do what they can for you. We ain't forgot about you. You fought for us, and we're fighting for you. We love you.
Did you all see Mikey Ruhan up there rocking it out on stage? All right. And now he's rocking and crushing it in our sports report, telling us about how Pahrump Valley Trojans actually won their season opener. Here's sports with Mikey now.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. The Las Vegas Aviators dropped all their weekend games. On Sunday, they dropped the game 9-6. Now the Aviators are packing their bags and probably a few extra cases of sunflower seeds for a season-long 12-game road trip. First stop, Northern California, where they'll take on the Sacramento River Cats. Then it's off to Reno to face the Aces, not to be confused with our WNBA Aces, who win more often and probably have better travel snacks. Pahrump Valley Trojans came out swinging in their home opener, stomping Chaparral High School by a score of 56-14. Next up for the Trojans, they take on Spring Valley this Friday. In the NFL world, the Las Vegas Raiders are kicking off their season this Sunday, on the road against the New England Patriots. It's Vegas versus Boston in a matchup that's basically slot machines against clam chowder. The Las Vegas Aces return to the hardwood this Thursday as they welcome the Minnesota Lynx. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Thanks so much, Mikey. And your forecast and more news you can use after this break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, in today's electric news, did you know that there are potential energy savings all around us? That's why Valley Electric Association is sharing more on how we can conserve more around our homes.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
Do you want to save energy at home? Take these simple steps for a house full of energy savings. In your living room, install a smart or programmable thermostat that adjusts to your lifestyle and saves energy. In your kitchen, use small appliances like toaster ovens and slow cookers when possible. In the bathroom, take a short shower instead of a bath. And don't forget to turn off the tap while brushing your teeth. In the bedroom, ceiling fans cool people, not rooms. Turn them off when the room is empty. In the den or office, plug electrical gadgets into a power strip and turn them off when devices are not in use. If you have an attic, check that your attic is adequately insulated. It's one of the easiest ways to save energy in your home.
In today's health news, September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. That makes it a good time to remind men about the importance of prostate cancer screenings.
Today's health report is brought to you by Desert View Hospital. When you or a loved one needs medical attention, Desert View Hospital is ready to help. We've been providing friendly and compassionate care to our neighbors since 2006, including emergency services available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit desertviewhospital.com to learn more. With limited exceptions, physicians are not employees or agents of this hospital.
If the patient agrees to start the prostate cancer screening, that can be done very easily through a blood test called PSA, prostate-specific antigen, which is an enzyme that is specific to the prostate and that is known to raise in cases of cancer. Like everything in medicine, things are not very simple, and PSA can be elevated for a myriad of reasons besides prostate cancer.
Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Gabriel Gavrilescu says a man's PSA levels could be elevated due to other factors like inflammation or infection of the prostate and certain physical activities such as riding a bicycle. Typically, when PSA levels are high, additional testing is done, which could include a digital rectal exam, more lab work, or imaging. If further investigation is needed, a biopsy would be performed. It's also important to note that the size of a man's prostate doesn't always mean something is wrong.
I think that one of the common misconceptions, or one of the points that I want to make, is that the size of the prostate does not correlate necessarily with a benign or malignancy. We can have a very large prostate and no cancer, and we can have a small prostate and cancer. So the size does not always matter in terms of assessing something being benign or malignant. It is usually the tissue diagnosis and other clinical elements that suggest one way or another.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
All right, time to take a first look of September out of our Lerner & Rowe weather cam at all of the scattered clouds in the area. It's a dark, gray, hazy day out there with scattered showers. Be careful out there on the roadways, and we'll have a closer look in weather next.
Weather is sponsored by the Nevada Dairy Farmers and the Dairy Council of Nevada, sharing the love of all things dairy. Celebrate the best moments with milk. Milk the moment. And the weather is also brought to you by the Ponderosa Dairy, Nevada's largest dairy, fresh from our farm to your table.
Time to take a look at our weather here in Pahrump and in the surrounding areas. Let's look at the highs today. Death Valley topping out at 108. They're the only one breaching the century mark. Las Vegas tops out at only 97. Amargosa, 98. Beatty, 95. Goldfield's high 84. Tonopah, 86. Carson City almost reaches the 90s, topping out at 89. Weather Twins of Fallon and Fernley topping out in the mid-90s. And in our highs today in Pahrump, 86 currently, and 95 for the overall high. Winds out of the south-southwest at 8 miles an hour. Humidity is high at 30%. Scattered clouds and scattered showers out there. Sunrise was at 6:16 a.m. And tonight we'll have lows in the mid-70s. Winds out of the east 8 miles an hour. Humidity increases to 38%. Sunset will be at 7:09 p.m. And our 7-day forecast highs, well, tomorrow it will also be cloudy, topping out at 90, but the skies turn blue and sunny again on Thursday with a high of 94. The same for Friday and the weekend. Highs in the mid-90s Saturday and Sunday. Monday and Tuesday's high to start the work week next week in the mid-90s. All right, so please be careful out there on our roadways. Again, there are scattered showers out there around Nye County and Clark County. That does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.